What's goody? We back. Respected to, that's us. You got me. Great Robino. Doing my thing. You got them other two guys. I don't know who they are. I think it's JT and Flyman or something like that. Go ahead, say something.
You're just doing your own thing. You're not doing a thing group collectively. You just want to do things on your own now, huh?
You know me.
All right, JT, Mr. Jam Toes. That's what I do.
Toe Jam, what's up? It's your boy, Flyman. How we doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad you guys are doing well.
Yeah. And then for today, we got, in a way, it's like, like some critiques that we got. Because basically, what we're doing is we're taking a game that was subpar, didn't live up to expectations, and providing our input on what we would have did to make that game better. Alright, bro, but who want to go first though? JT, I feel like JT always be wanting to talk. He always be talking, but he never be saying. So
That's kind of the whole point.
Go out there and do that thing.
That's kind of why we're here. We're here to talk. So
But you always be talking, but you never be saying.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
He right though.
All right. So to reiterate, the topic for today is if we had a game that was somewhat boo-boo, and if we can improve it, right? What would we do?
Since day one.
No, you had. Shut up.
Y'all boo-boo.
We had to change something about it. What would it be to make the experience better? I had a couple, but I'll start out with one for now. For me, I'm quite a big fighting games fan, and one great thing about fighting games is fighting with people that you enjoy, right? So obviously, I was quite keen on playing Jump Force, of course, because that kind of combines everything. You know what I mean? It's got that fighting game action to it. Yeah, you got your anime characters in it. They put in some pretty new guys in there, like Deku. They had Asta. They had a lot of One Piece characters that were pretty well known. And they even had like some pretty funny guys in there, some funny picks, like that one dude that's just a normal guy. I don't even know what anime he's from, but he's just a normal dude. He's in there fighting.
I don't know why when you said that, I just thought of the bicycle dude in One Punch.
Basically, he's like the Moomin Rider, but he has guns and he be driving every now and then. But I mean, the thing with Jump Force is that I particularly disliked is that the gameplay is kind of I guess it's very repetitive. Like a lot of the combos are like, all right, I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna do this, and there's not a lot of change in like what's going on. It also doesn't seem like very fast paced because you have to go and charge up, and then you have to go and dash at whoever you're playing, and the battlefield is just so big since it's a 3D fighting game. And I just feel like that just muddies up a lot of the things that make fighting games fun. Like, especially if there's an aspect of running to it that's like literally all you can really do. It's annoying to try to chase in that game. I like that the way they use the different characters and how their specials came about too. They have a 3-person team style playing as well. So you just pick your squad of 3, and then you have your assist moves that come in, swap in and out like that, of course. But I don't like how big of a 3D space it is. If I were to change it, I'd prefer it to be something like Dragon Ball FighterZ, where it's a 2D fighter, but the art style still like holds up very well for Dragon Ball. Obviously, you would have to change up a little bit of the art style to make it blend in well, because not all of them have the same style. I like the pacing for Dragon Ball FighterZ a little more up tempo. I like the combo system they have, where it's like you can kind of make your own combos, but if you don't know how, you can do like some of the auto combos that they have. Yeah, I think I prefer that style more than the Jump Force style, just because Yeah, not a fan of 3D fighting games. Most
But
other
it's
3D
okay to be different.
most other 3D fighting games I enjoy. So like Soul Calibur is a 3D fighting game,
Soul Calibur is probably the king and Tekken, arguably.
and Dead or Alive too. Dead or
But
Alive
Mortal
is also
Kombat technically is like it's still like it's on a 2D plane, but it's 3D models.
yeah, exactly. Maybe something like that even. Whereas I don't like how freaking big the spacing is.
What about the what is it, Ninja Storm?
It's also like the same exact playstyle as Ninja Storm in them, which are games that like I said, they're all repetitive and I get tired of just because there's not a lot of variety in how you can play in them.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be more entertaining if I could do like more close quarters combat as opposed to like all this spacing and then I got charged up and then I have to chase you and then there's a lot of just countering and it's kind of annoying. But like dodging, that's just not. It's just boring. It makes the whole game boring. You get all these characters and all of them just do like one track mind type things. And it's not as fun, you know. It'd be way more. I think I'd enjoy it more if it was faster paced, more in your face, and a little more 2D. So that's how I would change Jump Force for my personal liking.
See, I don't relate. That's only because I don't play fighting games like that.
When was the last fighting game you played? Probably Mortal Kombat.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically I played Smash, but I've only played Smash like 20 times.
And what's one thing you hate about Smash? When the arena's too big, everyone's running away from you.
Bro, Smash, I
That's
don't
all
even know what
play
I'm
with
doing.
you guys. Suck.
Like I said, I've only played like 20 times overall in like my life. So like whenever I did go and play, it was always with people who played all the time. So I would get lost and I just end up being the person that dies first. Because it was playing with like 8 people or something.
Yeah, I know what you're saying though.
Yeah.
A lot of the quote unquote people that don't play be the ones that try the hardest.
I was just all confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out what buttons did.
Yeah, but even that's technically like a 2D, right? 2D. kind of
I
thing.
mean, yeah.
I'd say.
Makes it a little easier for me. Because I mean, you got block, you got some side steps, and you know, I don't get much more crazy than that.
I don't think I've played any 3D. Maybe an old Dragon Ball Budokai. Was that 3D?
Yeah, those are 3D too.
Yeah, that might be the only one I've played that's 3D.
Those were good too. I feel like those were very, like, yeah, they're 3D, but fairly simple. Like they weren't trying to do too much with them until the later ones, at least. Like the first one was like you stay in each other's face really well, and then you really had to like pick your punches and when to pick to charge up and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't obscenely huge or like super over the top.
I was thinking about that Mugen though. I don't know why that popped up in my head. It's not even 3D. Whenever I see Mugens, it's always people. They're just like the. I always see people doing the CPU. Well, they'll pit the 2 CPUs up against each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like Salty Bet.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play one. They seem fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying to start some Salty Bet. See how that go.
I have seen that. Who does that?
I've seen Afro Senju do it.
Yeah, he's the one that does that. Yeah, those do seem fun.
But yeah, you can go ahead and do your thing, Fly Man.
Oh man, for me, I have a couple. The ones I've recently thought about, ones that I like. I don't know. That just disappointed me greatly was probably. You guys probably already know, but it's probably Final Fantasy 15, Kingdom Hearts 3, man.
Mhm.
Those
Came out
ones-
with that remind though.
No.
That's not enough to save the game.
Right, man. my main issue is like, why are you releasing the game? Okay. And then releasing DLC that makes the game make sense where the holes were in the story. Like it should have made sense in the first place.
Yeah,
Right?
I agree.
So that stuff I hate. Uh, and that's why I just really hate those ones. Like those
Pay
ones
extra for
really
that.
disappoint me. But for me, I think in 15 I would change maybe. See, 15 to me is like a flawed game. Like it's like a great bad game. Like it's like there's parts of it that are really good and promising, but like it's so flawed at the same time. I guess some of the things that stick
It's
out
like,
to me
why
are
are
like,
you like this?
right. Some of the things that stick out to me are probably like the I don't know, the villain. Okay, like there's so many underutilized characters or underdeveloped characters.
I didn't even understand his motives.
Yeah, I didn't. You don't really fully understand his like alluded to, and I kind of just told, but it's never like characterized. You know.
He just sounded crazy.
And then you have what's her face, Luna Freya. Okay,
Yeah.
she was probably one of the most wasted characters ever. Like ever. Like she. Okay, spoiler. Okay, you learn that Freya is has been promised to Noctis, the main character, right? You're like, okay, cool. That's like his love interest and stuff like that, right? And he wants to get back to her, and he was supposed to be married to her and stuff like that, right? So you're like, oh, that's cool. And it's not like they didn't know each other. Like they spent a lot of time with each other and stuff like that, and knew each other well. But throughout the whole game, you barely get to meet her, and when you finally meet her, right, she dies. Like,
Yeah, that's true. You spend like the first half trying to just meet up.
and then when you finally meet her, she summons this big monster, the Leviathan, and then dies. And the main villain, he kills her. And they're like, what?
Man, the story just didn't have any type of pacing. I feel like
No, pacing was hot garbage. It was hot garbage.
I did not
And
care.
I know the character. I know the. It was like they took the criticisms of 13 way too seriously.
Oh yeah.
And they were like talking about how like 13 was way too linear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they was like, well, the game developer was like, well, there's an issue with games that are linear. To a linear game allows you greater storytelling because you can streamline the path you want the players to go on, and they
Like
don't
that
get distracted.
Uncharted.
Right, you can streamline the path you want them to go on. They don't get distracted, and it's cool, right? So in the past, if you think about it, most of the time, most of the Final Fantasy games were, in a sense, linear. It was just that there was like maybe a couple little side missions or side distractions that you could delve into, right? And I feel with this one, it does a weird thing where like the first half of the game is like open world, and then the second half of the game is like linear.
Yeah.
And,
Or like you literally are getting moved in one direction.
right, yeah, and the issue is that all the linear stuff that happens, it doesn't pay off because none of it was developed well in the open portion, in the open section of the game, the first half. So I think that's where, if I had to change anything, I think I would just make it how the other ones were before, and just really focus on maybe keeping a linear thing, keep you on a linear path with like key town things you have to hit, but you know you could do little side hunts or side things like they were trying to do, um, and really focus on developing the characters. Like I know we was waiting on that game for a hell of a long time, right?
Hmm.
But you know, make sure you get it right and you're not sacrificing anything crucial in the game.
Yeah. I think
To
my thing is for it,
make
it's
it make
like
sense.
either make the story good or make the gameplay good. But I
Right.
feel like both of them were mediocre.
They were. They really were. And
They was working on that Kingdom Hearts.
Because I mean, half the time I was playing Final Fantasy 15, I was just warping everywhere. You know what I mean? And then like the story, I just didn't even care about just because of that. I beat the entire game. I couldn't even tell you what happened. That's how much I cared about that story.
right. It was kind of garbage.
Mhm.
The story made no sense. But the only thing I could say about the characters, I couldn't even tell you. It was like all the side media. Like I watched the side media. Like I watched the side movie and the side anime little short series they had or whatever, and it
Mhm.
gave so much depth to the characters, like so much depth, and they're just like, why isn't this in the
Yeah.
game? Why isn't it in the game? Just makes no sense. But so that's what I would do for that. I'd just make it more streamlined. I would either, like you said, make the gameplay really good, or make the story
Story good.
good and make it make sense and not cut anything out of the story. Because I know for a fact too that they kept reworking the combat system a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say the combat system. I couldn't tell if it was hack and slash or if it was like Final Fantasy 12, where you have to time it out. But for real, it was just I was button mashing for most.
It doesn't even really flow that well either.
Yeah. Every now and then I would be getting shot and be like, what's going on?
Right. Okay. So that's that. For Kingdom Hearts 3, man. God, where do I even start? Again, Kingdom Hearts 3 had the same issue where nothing really matched
Mm-hmm.
too well. The pacing. Both of those games, the issue was probably the pacing, because the pacing was atrocious. Kingdom
Mhm.
Hearts 3. Literally for the whole game, you meander. Like 2/3 of the game, you meander. And then, like,
Yeah.
the last third of the game is where things happen, where it matters and stuff. But I would make it more challenging. First off, I would make the different worlds story tie in a whole lot better to the overarching thing, because all the worlds you travel to, their stories do not relate at all to the overarching story of Kingdom Hearts. 'Cause
Yeah.
before the stories you would travel to, they related to the overarching story in a way. Right? Kingdom Hearts
Mhm.
1 was the princesses, and then Kingdom Hearts 2
Prince I.
the princess. Kingdom Hearts 2 was really
Organization.
the organization, right? You were trying to stop them from meddling in with the other worlds and stuff like that. So in this one, you're literally just traveling to the worlds because Sora has to. This is basically like Sora has to get good, pretty much.
Yeah, basically, because he
Right.
lost his powers, quote unquote.
So he is
And-
scrub.
He was apparently, I mean, he's the weakest one.
Apparently.
He was apparently the weakest one, but they couldn't save anyone without him.
And yeah, so I would make that tie-in. Like, what I would have did was like various characters that pop up at the end, that they literally just pop up, and you'd be like, where the f- they come from? Like, one of them's Roxas. Like Roxas just pops up at the end. You're like, what? Like they were hinting at it in the various different worlds, but I would have make one of the plots in one of the worlds you go to, like the Roxas thing, or one of the plots in the world you go to, the Aqua thing.
Yeah.
Or because you literally get Aqua back, Ventus back, and then Terra back, all within like a short sequence, back to back.
Mhm.
It would have been nice to like get them, like one of them earlier, and
Just like
type
you
of
on the
stuff.
cover of Lethal Weapon,
what?
That's a big I don't know why Robin tried that.
um, right. And
They
then
they really did try to make the worlds tie back because all they ever did was just be like, I wonder if this heart will hold true even though this person's not real, or if this person, even though this guy's a toy, can he have a heart? I was like, what are y'all talking about?
right. It was like half-assed.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like fully integrated to like how it was in whatchamacallit.
Mm-hmm.
But then, what else would I change?
One of
I
my
would've-
biggest things was like how they were just trying too much with the gameplay. I
They
did
really
not I did not want to be in a little Megazord toy thing. I did not want to be flying a ship. I did not want to be sailing the seven seas. I didn't
Everything
want to
had
do none
a
of that.
gimmick. Like everything had a gimmick, and it
Mhm.
was kind of annoying. Like,
I don't want to do any of that.
and one thing I didn't get was
Try
like
the box.
why some of the stuff was like half-assed too in the Disney worlds, because it was literally, it seemed like scenes from the movie, and
Yeah.
then Sora and them were just looking at him like, oh, and you're like,
Yeah.
why not make them a part of the scene?
Yeah. It was strange.
It was just strange. um, and then none of the fights were Disney villain fights, which was pretty whack too. Because I
Yeah.
thought what was kind of cool in the first one, a lot of the fights, a good half of the fights were Disney villain fights. So that was
Yeah. I think they just used up all their assets, honestly.
and
They're just
then
running low.
right, it was pretty whack. And then what else, man?
I feel like
Right.
the fighting, the combat.
The combat made the game way too easy, and
Mhm.
just a lot of stuff you could do was overpowered.
Yeah.
To
No, it's like
accomplish.
I didn't like the amusement rides. I felt like that was a little too much. I didn't want to use them.
Right. And then there was no side content. There was literally one super boss who you could freaking whoop with ease.
Yeah,
And-
and he doesn't even look like he's related until like unless you
Mhm.
like watch some theory videos or whatever.
Right.
They
And
used to
then-
watch theory
Dude.
videos.
Yeah.
And then the I don't know, man. Just the content that you had gotten the last ones was just a whole lot better. You know, like I can remember in one there was like 3 hit bosses, wasn't there? And like
In one there was you fight
That sand
Zombies.
boy,
yeah, I
That
remember
clown
going
Lion
boy.
dude, you fight the ghost dude,
that
Mhm.
angel
and you
boy.
fight Sephiroth, and the Titan, Ice Titan.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
the
so there's
secret
technically
bosses.
4, right? So there was the, you go back to whatchamacallit and be like, why is the level like way
Mhm.
higher than what it was? And you go, and then it's the dude
Yep.
in Agrabah, and he like whoops you, and you're like, oh damn.
Mhm.
And then you go to Peter Pan's world, and it's the ghost dude. And you're like, who is this? And he
Yep.
whoops you.
Mhm.
Bro, I wasn't expecting Sephiroth.
Oh yeah, there's just
Right.
that tournament with all the question marks.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this
Uh-huh.
question mark? And then I get killed in like 2 hits.
Yeah.
And then you have, and 2 have way more super bosses if I remember right, and the final mix even further cemented.
Yeah, you get to fight all the organization over again,
hmm
and
Well,
then you can fight them stronger.
right. And then I guess the Remind DLC does a lot of the organization fights with, which I guess that's fine.
Mhm.
Super boss fights DLC, that's cool. But what it also further makes the Remind DLC, from what I'm hearing, mind you, I haven't played it, is they said it still doesn't answer everything or really fill in the gaps
Yeah.
for what happened or what's going to happen. So that's also just even more annoying because that feels like it's a blatant cash grab to
I
do
watched
cool
somebody
boss
play
fights
it.
and stuff like that.
You know what I think
So-
would be interesting if they made Kingdom Hearts a turn-based RPG instead.
Yeah, I think that would kind of work out better.
That would be pretty interesting because we have all these damn amusement park rides, and they could be like little summon type. Well, I mean, there's summons too. Damn, there's just too much stuff.
Right.
There's
So-
really just too much stuff.
So I think what I would do is I would I would change, make the worlds tie in a whole lot better. Um, change the pacing up a whole lot better. Like just make it one more paced, and then make the character appearances and things like that make sense. Like you can leave it out on a cliffhanger. Maybe I wouldn't even really leave a cliffhanger, but you know, just make it make sense, man.
Let me
More
know.
side content. That's what I would do. But yeah, that's my rant. But you're right. That would be interesting. I just don't get like that criticism that they were kept saying that turn-based games are dead or stupid or anything like that, which I don't think that's the case, man. I just think there's just been crappy turn-based games and
I mean, you got
like
Persona.
People just don't want to read.
right. I mean, I don't. I just don't get that. That's why I think Final Fantasy 15 failed kind of hard because they were so pressured into making the push to not be turn-based and be open world when I don't think it necessarily needed to be.
Yeah. And then the gummy ships was a little bit extra too. Like, what's all this extra stuff, man? Just keep it real simple.
Right. Although the gummy ships have been a guilty pleasure of mine. I can't lie.
I like them in which one was it? In two, real fast paced, real exciting. You felt the rewards, but in 3, I just felt like I was just trying to get from point A to point B.
Right.
But all right, Robino, what game you thinking about?
Man, I'm a baby boy. So
Alright.
when it comes to my games, I don't always buy them right away. It depends on the game. Some games, if I'm like super hyped for it, like Persona, I actually pre-ordered that. I think I pre-ordered Horizon Zero Dawn too, but they didn't, you know, they weren't subpar to me. So I don't think I had too many games that I think I played that were subpar, at least right off the top of my head. So I decided to pick one that I haven't played that I think was subpar, and my pick was No Man's Sky. Cause you know we all know about the No Man's Sky debacle, right? That was I feel like
No Man's Buy.
No
Not
Man's
buying
Sky.
that.
But now I feel like I haven't played it, but I've heard that it's way better than it was when it launched. It's basically, from what I understand, I think it's like how they advertised it. So I feel the whole problem with No Man's Sky was just PR. Like they gassed it up.
I forgot
way
the
more
whole
than they
appeal
need to.
behind it. Wasn't it like people just wanted to go travel and go travel to different planets with their friends or something? Like the whole appeal to it just didn't make sense to me. Like I don't know why people were so excited for it.
It's just
That's
one of
not-
those exploration type things, you know, like how Minecraft, you have exploration, because I think you was able to base build and stuff too. You could collect resources, build bases, you could see your friends, and it's the whole thing about the planets are all procedurally generated, so it's always something different. Yeah. But and they preach that in all their advertising. Excuse me. Then the game comes out and you can't see anyone. There was a thing where somehow 2 people got to the same place and they couldn't see each other, and there's just all these other different things where, like, one, I think there wasn't really much of a goal. You're just on the planets. You're just there, not doing anything.
Just
Right.
mining.
And then there was like a big thing getting to the middle and like being the first to get to the middle and being like excited to getting to the middle, and then in the middle you just start back to where you started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then now, apparently, you can build bases. There's like a survival aspect. There's I think you're actually able to see your friends and play with them. So they've been putting out updates and doing what they said they was going to do at the start. I think the main problem with that is not critiquing the game. It's more critiquing the PR. Like, either they didn't need to say all this stuff because they weren't ready for it. Like they was I don't know how exactly the guy who was doing the PR stuff was involved in making the game. Like maybe he didn't know. I feel like he was one of the big people in it though, but it's like
Right.
one of those things where the business they're saying one thing, but then the developers are like, wait, this ain't ready though, you know. So either the PR they shouldn't have said that, or they should have pushed it off, hit it with that delay. But they probably didn't want to delay because they're an indie company.
Right.
Yeah. What would you you didn't play the game, right?
No,
Okay, I was about to say, what would you have changed about the game? But if you haven't, then
see, well, that's what I was saying. I don't think there's really much to change about it right now because like I haven't played it, but in the beginning there would have been a whole lot to change. But they've been pushing out the updates to make it better to where it's basically what people was hyped about and what they was expecting. It's just it wasn't like that when it first came out. So that's why I was saying they should have delayed it or something so that it could have had time to actually be that way when it first came out, and then it wouldn't be dead as it is now because you don't hear anybody talking about it at all.
It is pretty dead right now.
I don't know anyone that plays it.
Yeah, I remember your cousin used to play it, Flyman.
Yeah. I remember my my sister, I got it for her husband, and I was like, don't tell him that like it's actually trash. Don't.
You set that man up.
She was like, what? I was like, people actually hate that game.
Was that when it was like really cheap or something?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, has he said anything since?
No, I guess he's been just enjoying it in silence. Ignorance is bliss.
All right.
I was
good.
gonna say it'd be funny. He comes back to you. He like, hey, this like a really good game. It's one of my favorites.
And he'd be like, all right, bet. Nice. How do you enjoy it?
So you got any other recommendations?
He'd be like, yeah, there's this game called Anthem. You have to play as Iron Man. And he'd be like, oh, I like Iron Man. That's what's gonna happen.
A bogus setup.
And then it's like, oh, and if you like Anthem, then you can go and play that Mass Effect Andromeda.
Mm-hmm. And if you just like shooting games, just get the new Call of Duty.
That's like a every year thing.
Every year.
Just upgrade.
You got something to look forward to every year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was pretty much it for me. I don't know if I have. I had another thing that I thought of, and I kind of lost it when we was talking about Kingdom Hearts.
What's a game that you've played that didn't meet your expectations that you would change?
For me, that's what I was saying. I couldn't think of one off the top
Yeah,
of my
so
head.
like you liked all the games that you've played.
All of them. There's not one you didn't really like that much.
I think the one I thought of was one of the Call of Duty games, but that was like I only played the multiplayer. I didn't play the single player.
What about you liked all of?
Oh yeah, the one that I thought of, it was Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, but that's more like
I mean, that's a game that was on the
that's
Game
just
Boy
a
that
personal
got
thing.
ported.
Yeah, that's just a personal thing. Like I didn't
Yeah.
like the card system. Like
Yeah.
I can't say that I would change all that up because that's the main thing of the game.
Yeah, that's arguably not a mainline game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though it fills in the gaps between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You start 2 and you'd be super confused. You'd be like, what?
Yeah, I
Did you
actually didn't
what's-
even finish it. I just watched the cutscenes on YouTube.
I mean,
Well, I think one of the versions is just cutscenes. of it.
Yeah. I forget what. I mean, I don't blame you because
No.
that's the worst one.
Right.
What's that one game that I borrowed from you that had that girl in the snow? and them robots.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
You liked all of Horizon?
Yeah,
Really?
I don't remember you borrowing that.
Yeah. It's because I gave it back pretty fast because I was like, man, I'm tired of this sneaking around the grass type stuff. What is this? And that was in the beginning of the game.
If there's anything I would change about Horizon, I think I don't know something. I don't know, man. There's something about it. There was I thought that too when I played it. There was just something about it where I felt like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but
I just didn't even care about the game personally, just because as I was going through it, I was like, man, this is boring.
it was something about it where just like yes, the world was really cool. Yes, the world was really creative, and yes, it was awesome. But something about everything just still felt uninspired. And I feel like it was maybe some of the mechanics, like the fighting, I thought was really unique with how you trapped the creatures and all that other types of stuff, which I thought that
know
was really cool.
One mechanic I didn't use was the riding, because he was able to like mind control some of the herd type machines, like the horse looking one, and you could ride it. I just never did that. I ran everywhere.
I did that a couple times.
I feel like that'll take a long time though, right?
To run?
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I mean, you can fast travel to places that are close and run where you need to go. It's just a matter of getting there the first time.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's tons of fast travel places. Because I 100% at the game, so I had like everything on the map visited, so I could just travel between all those different things. The only thing I didn't finish was that DLC, because that DLC was hard. I was getting pieced up. I finished the story, but I didn't finish the quest, and I didn't finish the challenge stuff because they added these big machine things. It's like a bear, but a giant bear, and it's aggressive. And there's a fire one, there's an ice one, and there's a time trial where you have to kill 4 of them in a certain amount of time. And I'm like, bro, it takes all my resources to kill 1. You want me to kill 4? And the area is so big, and their attacks are like AoE attacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you're just trying to dodge one of them, and then you get in the vicinity of another one, and it aggroes them, and then now you're getting mauled by 3 bears in a corner. I'm like, bro, I didn't ask for this. I'm like, let me just do the deals. Let me just do the story, I mean, and then just get up out of here. But in terms of PS4 games, I don't think there was too many that I didn't really care for. I know on the PS3 there was 2 that I thought of, but I couldn't think of what I would did I say PS2? PS3. I don't know what I said. But on the PS3 there was 2 that I thought of that I didn't like. I didn't finish them, and I didn't know what I would change about them because I don't remember them all that well. But I can mention them. It was Bionic Commando and Wheelman. Wheelman was the
neither
one
of
with
those
Vin
sound
Diesel.
like games that make sense to me.
Well, Bionic Commando was like a remake, because I guess that was an old one. So then it's just the guy who lost his arm, and he has like a robot arm that has like a grappling hook in it.
They got trash names for these games. What's going on?
Yeah, so I was playing that. I didn't finish that. I don't remember. It's like it was like a post-apocalyptic, I think, and I think you could swing around like Spider-Man basically with that grappling hook, but I don't remember why I didn't like it, but I didn't.
It just sounds trash to me off the rip.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I was gonna finish it just because I started it, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna finish it just to finish it, and then I got to a point where I think I got stuck in both of them actually, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like Wheelman, I think that was based. I don't know if there was a movie or not. It must have been a movie, and it might have been based off of that because it had Vin Diesel in it.
That sounds very familiar, actually.
Yeah, and then you basically driving around, and I think you could hijack cars while you're driving. Like you jump out the car and get into another car. I don't remember what the point of the game was, but I got stuck at this part with this train, and I stopped there because I couldn't get past it. I just kept dying.
That's clowning.
Yeah,
None of that game makes sense to me based off your description.
Like I don't remember what I had to do. I just know I was hopping between cars while driving, and then I was getting shot at. And there was a train somewhere, and I was Vin Diesel.
Fly man, what are some games that you've been playing that disappointed?
I do remember Bionic Commando,
Yeah, that PS3 one.
my PS3. Yep. And I played it, and I was like, okay. um, recently, I have one. Okay, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Okay, the thing with Assassin's Creed Odyssey was literally it felt too big for its own. Like it was too open world. It was so open world to the point where like I was losing interest in it.
Dang.
Hella
Like there
quick.
was there was too much to do, or it was like there
Yeah,
was
that's
like an
what-
open world with nothing in it.
No, it's literally like too much to do, and like just half of the open world is like open space and like and then literally like it feels like it becomes a chore. You know what I mean? Like it's so open world to the point where all the stuff to do feels like it would be a chore to do. And it's like I don't even want to do it because like it overstays its welcome.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm. So that was probably what could be another one? Try to think. Lately here, I've been kind of pleased with most of my I've been buying here.
I felt like that new Pokemon was just that. I mean, it was just way too easy, man. There's just no challenge behind it for me.
Yeah, it was eh.
And then
The
the
thing with
replayability.
Pokemon, you gotta think was like they still make it with kids in mind.
Yeah,
Even though like it's one of those things where it's like the mechanics are simple, but
yeah.
to get into it is like it's very deep if you actually think about it. And like
Yeah.
it's so easy just to exploit the main campaign and things like that. And it felt like they was experimenting, but yet they were still too safe with it.
Mhm.
And it also felt like it didn't really disappoint me, but I think if anything I was underwhelmed, and I was like I thought they could have still did better. It was like
Mhm.
when in an era when all the biggest Nintendo franchises have taken a leap, like Breath of the Wild, Mario,
Mhm.
and Fire Emblem. It was like, why hasn't Pokemon took that full leap into it?
Mhm.
So I'm just kind of confused at that.
It didn't bring out anything special to me.
Right,
think
it's just
that's
a Pokemon game.
Yeah, because
I
I was
never
like,
played Pokemon.
I mean, it's so straightforward, man. Like it's hard to stray off the path, and then
Yeah, it really is.
you just pick whichever Pokemon you like.
You really can. The ways to make it more challenging is by doing, how I told you, like color locking or
Yeah.
nuzlocking, I think it's null locking or whatever like that. Those are probably the only ways to make it more challenging,
Right.
I guess.
But those are like self-proclaimed challenges.
But it's nice, man.
Oh,
It's okay. It needs to make that. What's another one I've played? I was disappointed by Arkham Knight, but I haven't played that recently, but that was a while ago. Forgetting that the game was even
isn't that the
Broken.
one that had? Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, it was broken on PC. Even though it was forgetting that it was broken PC, the fact that it was the fact that you finally got the Batmobile was like, oh yeah, finally the Batmobile. play it, and it's actually kind of annoying to play the Batmobile because it's you rather just go around Batman and playing the Batmobile annoying because you have to fight these stupid ass drone
Yeah.
things and stuff. Is kind of annoying, and the fact that I saw all the twists coming. Like I knew who the Arkham Knight was. Like I was like, I bet the Arkham Knight is so and so was, and I was like, that I'm mad that I knew.
I'm actually looking at a list of video game disappointments. They have Final Fantasy 13 on there.
Oh man, 13 was just not. It was also one of the ones that was. I don't care about the story. I don't care about none of these characters. This gameplay is mostly the same, but worse somehow.
13 was like 13 was just like it's a weird one where like the world was really interesting and it was cool in a way, but like it's long and it feels like it drags and like everything just becomes tiresome, even like the combat. And
They
it's
made
just
the black guy extra black.
it's so repetitive, and it was like there was nothing to really kind of break up like I guess 10, right?
Dying.
And 10 was paced really well, and you had things that broke up the monotony. Like you had the puzzles and the temples for the summons. You had like the special summon fights. You had I was gonna say drop ball. You had blitz ball.
Oh, I don't know where you're going with that.
And yeah, man. And then in 12 you had the hunts.
I like
And-
12 a lot. 12 was fun.
Yeah, some of these are surprising to me. I didn't even know Killzone was considered a disappointment.
It's probably just because of it just wasn't received. Like not a lot of people bought it. It probably wasn't like a gameplay disappointment per se. Like people just probably didn't play it.
Yeah, because Killzone's on here. Star Wars The Force Unleashed is on here. Fable. Mass Effect 3. I know why people didn't like Mass Effect 3.
The thing with Force Unleashed, it felt like it was just like a power fantasy, and like it was so stupidly easy after a second, and it was just like I don't know.
Actually saw a
Most
video.
Star Wars things feel like fan fiction. The Force Unleashed really felt like fiction, and the Force Unleashed the second one really felt like fan fiction.
Yeah, I saw a theory video. It was actually game theory on what's excuse me, I'm dying. What's his name? Star Killers?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on him, and the moment when he's pulling the ship down with his force,
Right.
and talking about how strong he is to be able to do that. And I think they was comparing that to Vader in something that that's dang, I don't even want to. I feel like I'm about to start getting into spoilers for something.
For what?
I'm not even gonna say what it was for. Then it was something with Vader, because I already said that it was something that Vader did. They was comparing that.
Spoil that because I know about it, but I haven't seen it or experienced it.
Yeah, it's something that he did in something else, and they're comparing Star Killer to that. And I can't remember. They was trying to say that based on, I think I'm actually remembering this wrong, because I thought Star Killer was what he was saying was stronger, but no, Vader, they was saying based on what Vader did, he could do what Star Killer did like it was nothing, like not even break the slut, like do that with one finger
Vader
or something like
chosen,
that.
huh?
Pull down a whole ship though.
My thing is like, it's not even canon no more. The Force Unleashed.
It's not.
No.
It's just a spin-off type game.
Mhm.
Oh, Disney came through and said nah.
Yeah, they pretty much
Mhm.
did.
They
They
looked
said,
at
"We
that.
don't
And
know."
they looked at this and was like, "What is this?"
I was like, no, that don't.
And now look at it. It's a flop, quote unquote.
Apparently, the second Knights of the Old Republic is on this list.
Man,
What?
people just don't like these Star Wars games, huh?
Yes.
They really don't, because it's Star Wars. 'Cause the best, the worst, the best Star Wars. I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say.
It's the
Worst
second
Star Wars
one.
games.
It's the second one though. I always hear
I
about.
like the second one better. The thing with that is the first one, I think, has a better streamlined story. But the issue with the second one is the second one's only additional disappointment because the second one wasn't fully finished because the publisher forced the studio to get it out quicker.
See, yeah, that's exactly what it says because they have the thing where it
Mhm.
says the hype
But-
and then the reality.
But the thing is, the second one way more interesting ideas with stuff than the first one.
See, yeah, it says they rushed. I don't know why it says they rushed. Did they rush? What? It says everything about this installment felt off. Gameplay, the story, the controls, it was all felt haphazardly cobbled together. At some point it says, bring back the team that made something original and awesome, question mark, and then they're like, no, they found some other people. Wait, is that what they did? It wasn't even the same team that made the first one?
No, it was the first one was BioWare, back when BioWare was good, and the second one was Obsidian, which I think Obsidian's really good and really
Obsidian
underrated.
made New Vegas and
Mhm,
then that one game, Outer Worlds.
mhm.
Yeah.
Obsidian's really underrated. I think Obsidian goes heavier. It's like this. Obsidian, I don't think is too strong in the story elements, but when it comes to like the RPG element, they're way better, and like the role playing elements. But BioWare was always stronger in storytelling, I thought. But now BioWare sucks
That's what happens when you get bought out by EA.
because Knights of the Old Republic 1, like I said, I felt had a better story, but 2 just had way better ideas and way better like playing elements because it was like and that's where part of me, like, there's one thing I didn't like about Star Wars. It was that fact that like they made everything gray. It was like the world isn't gray. I mean, the world isn't black or white. It's gray.
I don't think I have anything else though. I mean, this list is kind of big, but I don't even know all these. Like Daikatana's on here. I heard of that, but I don't know anything about that.
Daikatana?
Yeah,
I've never heard of that.
it's an old one.
Yeah, I don't know about none of that either.
And then like Two Human, Red Steel. I don't know.
I know
what those
about
are.
Red Steel. I know Two Human was bigness.
And then there's of course the ones at the top. No Man's Sky that I mentioned, and then Star Wars Battlefront 2, like the EA one, is number 2, and then Fallout 76 and Anthem. Those are the top 4. Daikatana was 5. Have you played dang, I forgot what the game's called. The Kojima game with Norman Reedus.
I haven't played it.
I know I was watching somebody play it on YouTube, and he actually stopped playing it on YouTube because he felt like it wasn't a YouTube game. Because it seemed like it was just a lot of running.
That's what it is.
The walking simulator. It's like if you want to go watch a movie, but you gotta walk to watch it. But that might have been it for all this stuff.
I have nothing.
Yep. I would change Jump Force. Flyman. You would change Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 15. Robino talked about No Man's Sky, but didn't play it, so he wouldn't change anything about it.
Yeah.
And then we, talked about some other games. Nice little recap.
Recap. cap, no cap.
Capella.
If you ugly, you fugly. If you tugly, you bugly. I mean,
I'm right there with you.
Yo. We talked about disappointing things in life, and how we would change those disappointing things, whether those things be.
Dang, why is that so like we're having a midlife crisis or something?
Hey, games are life.
Games of
What
life.
it is.
But yo, it's been, boy, the fun.
Yep. Been JT. You already know.
I was never
Mm.
here.
Jackson Taxon.
Robino was never here.
Yep. He said,
Never
I don't do
finished.
podcasts no more. I only do gameplays. And I've been
look
showing
like
my
a
face.
dude. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Straight up. And yo. Always respect. Tilt.
Respect that.
Yeah.